So many people still shocked tonight over the death of a SeaWorld trainer, Dawn Brancho, who died after a whale pulled her underwater. Well, now there's talk that the incident was premeditated by the whale, but a local vet doesn't believe that's the case. SNN Local News 6 reporter Jessica Jordan spoke with him about why and what possibly could have gone wrong.
Well, he says this was definitely not something that the whale set out to do on purpose, especially since it was well trained and very familiar with that handler. Instead, he says the incident was most likely sparked by a miscommunication. Local veterinarian David Smith keeps one thing in mind when working with these animals that come through his clinic. There's always a chance they could bite if given the right situation.
The subtle changes in how you're standing and the subtle changes in your expression on your face and the changes in things that you would pass off as nothing. For the animal, it's a big change.
A change that could trigger the animal to turn against its handler. He says this type of miscommunication could have led to what happened at SeaWorld Wednesday, an orca that pulled its trainer, Dawn Brancho, underwater by her ponytail, killing her.
We're not looking at Jaws as going after the captain, you know. It's just, I don't believe that. I really don't think they come around and stalk you. They're basically reacting to whatever's happening, and unfortunately this was a tragedy.
A tragedy still stirring up local reactions.
The whales aren't exactly domesticated. It's, you know, you can only go to some extent.
Investigators say Brancho died from multiple traumatic injuries and drowning. Rescuers were delayed in recovering her body due to the whale's aggressive nature. Joan Thompson says you can't trust animals, no matter how big or small.
We have a dog, a Dalmatian, and once in a while she just wants to be left alone. If we tease her, she'll growl at us.
Veterinarian Smith doesn't believe the whale meant to show aggression, but he says the fatal result is a price you pay for working with unpredictable animals.
This is a well-trained animal, knows all of the signals, got the wrong signal.
Dr. Smith says he sees the same unpredictability with the dogs and cats, and most of the time the pet owners don't know what they've done to provoke an aggressive reaction, but it is a signal that the animal has sensed.
And you know, Jessica, this was not a situation where this was a stranger to the animal. This was a trainer that the whale was familiar with. So does that make any difference?
He says most of the time it doesn't when it turns to the case, especially the SeaWorld case, where the trainer had worked with that whale for several years. Same case with cats and dogs. The owner sometimes owned the dog or cat for 20 years, and the owner is surprised by a certain reaction. He says it's the type of body language that the animal picks up on, and it can sometimes provoke a certain aggressive reaction there.
Wow. All right. Thanks, Jessica.